Hi, this is Jonathan. Welcome to your channel. I'm pretty excited today. As you all might know, it takes very little to excite me. A couple of months ago, I saw a report, or some reports from them, from the YouTube channels and the social medias that I follow, and a product came into my attention. This is from a company called Hotone. And as I did my research on Hotone, I found out that they actually came out with a lot of interesting pedals and effects. So they're quite innovative, you know. And the best part of it is that this company is based in China. And well, I reached out to them because there's this particular product that I was very interested in, and they are so kind. You know, Hotone is so kind to send me a unit of this, and this of course is the Hotone Ampero multi effects. Now, as you all might know, that I'm actually a guy that is really into multi effects because the ease of it, the convenience of it, and nowadays with all the amp modeling and cabinet simulation, you know, and the effect simulation, and the technology has grown, you know, through the years. And I've been using the Line 6 Helix for the longest time. When I found out about this Ampero, I found out that they're actually using a lot of DSP power, and the screen is touch screen. You know, what more can you ask? And the fact that it's lighter, you know, it's lighter than some of the effects I've been using. So stick around and check this out. So here's the packaging by itself. Pretty elegant, pretty cool, pretty simple, simplistic. Ampero employs a stunning effect library including CD, CM, HD, and fire modeling effects, and more than 120 amps and cab models. So that's pretty impressive. And the best part of it is that this is not just for electric guitarists. It's actually catered for the acoustic guitarist as well as the keyboard player. Okay, so let's open this up. Whoa. You have a sort of a cheat sheet here, or sort of a brief display card as to the various functions of the switches and whatnot, and the inputs and outputs. So put that aside. So pretty much protected by all this. With the, what is this? Let's see, what is this? Ah, so this is where all the cables are. This is the power supply. Right, made in China, obviously. Power plug. In this case, it's a 3-pin for UK and for us. That's about it. Nothing else here. The unit itself, I'm gonna break it out. Anything else in the back? Nothing. What do we have here? Wow, it's so small. I thought it would be bigger, but it's so small and compact. It's aluminium. Weighs a bit. I think it states that this weighs like what, 1 point something kg. I'll give you the weight later on. The actual weight. Some silica gel here just to keep the unit dry. Right. Whoopsie. Right, the serial number here. This is like really sturdy. You know, this is like a well-engineered product. You know, it's built like a tank. So briefly at the back, you have the power supply in, which is a 18-volt 500 mAh, a median power switch, USB. And this is where you can actually download any updates to this unit. You have a 2 unbalanced output, 1/4 inch, either mono or stereo. Phones, headphones out, auxiliary in for your CD player and whatnot, MP3 player. Ground on or off, just in case you have grounding problem, electrical problems at home on stage. And then you have the balanced output, you know, the Canon and stereo or mono. And then of course you have the input, which gives you an option of whether to choose from electric guitar or a acoustic guitar or just line, which in this case I think is applicable to keyboards and stuff like that. An expression pedal. This is where you can hook up to a secondary expression pedal. I'm sure that this little thing here can either function as a volume pedal as well as a wah-wah pedal. I'm sure, but I guess I'm not so sure, but I think it does do that. So I'll go through this unit, power it up, and see where there's any updates to be done, and then we're just gonna give it a playthrough and see how it sounds like. On first impression, I'm pretty impressed with the quality of the engineering. The brush metal look, the black brush metal look, pretty awesome. So I have updated this unit to its latest firmware, which is 2.1. What you need to do is to get a USB cable that fits into the back. It's a bit different from the normal USB cable. These are the ones that are mostly used in interfaces and stuff like that. It's a pity though that Hotone doesn't supply that MIDI cable. I could be wrong, but it's not in my package. In any case, I think they should, they should supply this cable. You hook it up to your computer. In this case, it's my MacBook. Once you got it hooked up, go to the website of Hotone and download the editor, which is the first version. I think it's 1.02, the Ampero editor. Once you got it download, install it, and then what you do is you turn the unit off, holding down these 3 buttons. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You can actually hold this down. So you can just hold it 3 down at the same time with your left hand or your right hand, and then with your other hand turn on the power switch. In which case it was just says updating software, and on your Ampero side it would give you a message saying to update. Do you need to update this? And all you need to do is depress that update button. It will open up a folder in another window asking you where the update files are from. Now if you have downloaded the update 2.1 from the website, it will show as a zip file, and you can just open the zip file and it would have a folder, and from there's another zip file there. Point the folder, point the Ampero editor to that file, and it will automatically just start updating. The update process is pretty fast, probably about 4 or 5 minutes. And once it's updated, the unit will just blank out by itself, in which case you have to turn off the unit, turn it on again, and then if you're not sure whether it's been updated, what you need to do is let me just get this So what you need to do is to go to this global thing. This is a touch screen, so you just press global, and then go to about. Can you see that? About, yeah. No, sorry. This one, right? About, and then it will state firmware version 2.1. So this has been fully updated. So this update process was a success. So it's a relative painless thing. If you're not used to all this mumbo jumbo, you might find it a bit tedious, but I'm sure most of you who are into M simulation and stuff like that, this is chicken feed for you. This like baby walk. In any case, this is the new version 1.1.1 Ampero editor, and from here you can actually customize whatever parameters you might want to have on your various effects, and your amp setting, your microphones, your cabinet setting, where your microphone is facing, and stuff like that. A whole ton of stuff that you can play with. This will probably take me like a whole day to get through this. In any case, I'm not going to go into real detail into all these parameters, because there are many wonderful, magnificent videos out there. One of them is by Parmar, who actually endorses this product, and he actually had a video that goes really in depth into the various parameters of each and every effect in every section of it. So you might just want to check him out. I'll put a link to his video below. And I just want to see how this unit performs in a real life musical situation, and how easy it is to use. Well, the fact is, it's preferable that you download the Ampero editor, because it makes your life a whole lot easier. Now, right now, I have like a clean signal going into the unit. There's no amp, there's nothing. As you can see, all this here is like turned off, right? So I'm just going to turn off the amp first. And right now, what I have here is a what do you call that? A Soloist 100 clean. And I'm just going to turn it on by doing this. So this is the amp without the cap. Okay, so this is with the cap. So now it's starting to sound like an amp. The way this whole thing is configured, they have the noise gate right in the middle of the amplifier and the cabinet. Beats me, I don't know the rationale behind this, but I would actually prefer the noise gate to be the top at the first get-go, you know. But then again, this is the way it is, so we'll work with it, you know, and not against it. So I have the noise gate activate right now. So now, so I have the amplifier and the noise gate and the cabinet activated right now. All right, I'm gonna add in a this is effects 1, effects 2. You can see this FX1, FX2. So this is effects 1. You have a choice of compressors all the way to distortion pedals to whatnot, you know, to wah-wah pedals and whatever you have. But I'm going to choose, as in my usual practice, a compressor. So in this case, I'm using a squeezer, and I have the threshold really low, ratio really low, so as to just get a slightly compressed sound. If I were to turn it off, okay, this on. Not much of a diff, except that it's more controlled. All right. Forgot to mention that the guitar that I'm using is a Harley Benton. What is this? It's EB Fusion Pro OCT. So I have a treble bleed installed, so I could play real soft and still retain the high. So yeah, so it works in this scenario. The second effect that I have going on is a what is this? This is a booster, right? It's called Affinity Boost. So what I kind of like this the way they designed this. This is like a really clean gain, but then, you know, it's enough to drive the amp to a certain limit so that you can hear a little bit of breakup. Okay, so I'm just gonna play a line without the boost. Okay, this is with a boost. So as you can hear, it's just driving the amp a little bit more, just pushing the amp a little bit more. Right, the next one will be the EQ. If you're happy with what the amp can do, you know, the amp has like, every different amp has different settings, so different parameters, so you have to play around with all this. Basically here you can have your presence and your treble, mids and bass. So if you're happy with what you're hearing, then there's no point in using an EQ. But this is where you can make final adjustment as to kind of like final shape your sound. So in this case, I have it just on 3K and 6K, just a little bit, you know, just a little bit of a gain, you know. So now for the EQ, then the next effect, which is the effect 3. Now these are you can actually have a sort of a chorus or whatever you have, and then you have the last one, which is a dedicated slot for delays and reverb. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch of delays to choose from, right? And there's a whole bunch of reverb to choose from. If I were to activate all this, okay, this is the chorus. So now I'm going to turn on the delay and the reverb, so you're going to hear the whole thing without the boost. this is how it sounds like without the chorus. So the parameters are a little bit mind-boggling because you have a whole lot to choose from. Just for the first, basically you have 1, 2, 3 effects and kind of like delegated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 delegated effect slot. So there's nothing you can change. I mean, amps are amps, noise gates are noise gates, you know, cabinets are cabinets, and what you call it, EQ or just EQ, and the delay is just delay, and reverb just delay. So all these are all delegated slots for each individual slots, you know, in individual effects that you can see here, you know. But for the FX3 or FX2 or FX1, these are the effect slot where you can actually choose from a wide range of effects that ranges from compressors to wires to auto wires to, you know, distortion units and whatnot. Right, so these are the variables. These are the ones that you can actually kind of like play around with what effects you want to put in and slot in. Now the way the unit works is pretty it's pretty amazing. It's kind of like it takes a whole lot of planning to do this, but in order to make such a small unit and make it usable on stage, it's yeah, it's quite a feat by itself. Well, basically you have the 1, 2, and 3. These are patches, right? These are all patches. Now, if I were to like go up a bank, I would press 2 of this together, and then you can see that this is a different bank. This is bank 2 of the P range, which is my user banks. You know, so if I go down one more bank, I'll just go down this way, and it's 0, 1, and then you have the 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 3. So basically, there are like three patches in a bank, you know. So for each individual patches, you are able to configure certain amounts of certain effects to be activated when you depress the switch. Right now it's in red, so if I were to put this down to green, there are certain effects that are triggered. For example, at the default is red, so I probably have in my previous patches, you can see that I have a reverb and a delay, for example, and a booster, right? Remember that, the booster. So I have it all turned off right now. So when I press this, I could actually program the unit to turn all these 3 units on at one time. So let's give you an example. Okay, this is off. So right now I just have the clean sound with a reverb going on. But if I were to depress this, to press this, and it turns to green, then I have the booster is on, and the delay is on. So I could actually, just by pressing one button, this is the clean patch, like, you know, a rhythm thing. And if I want to do a solo, I just hit the switch. That's it. So it's pretty well thought of. And then of course, if you go to a different patch, you know, in this patch I have the distortion, right? Again, I have certain effects turned on when I hit the switch. In this case, I have the delay and a booster, so I could actually play solo on this patch alone, rhythm or distortion chord, and a fill or a solo if I need to. And then this is my solo patch on P3. This is my full-blown, all-out solo sound, and of course the volume pedal works, you know. By default, it is a volume pedal, you know. But there's if you just depress it really hard, and then this light comes on green, you can see this light here. If it turns green, this means the expression pedal is activated, you know. And then you can actually assign it to a wah pedal, or you know, or whatever parameters you need. And the cool thing is you can actually assign multiple parameters on just by activating the expression pedal, which is pretty radical. But then again, I'm a simple man, so now when you see stuff like, you know, on the time-based unit, like the delays or the reverb, and you have this switch called trail. Now what it does is that, you know, when you're in one patch and then you hit the control switch, like what I just did, where you switch from a rhythm sound to a little bit more driven sound, for example, in the clean channel, the trail would, when you have it activated, the delay will still trail on, you know, even when you switch back to a cleaner sound. So that's the only thing that they do, but it doesn't work on different patches. Like for example, from a clean patch to a distortion patch, the delay will cut off. It will cut off, okay? So take note of this. So after editing all your stuff, either through the software that is provided for you by Hotone, or doing it on the unit, which is really simple because it's a touch screen, so you know, you just have to go back and forth like how you navigate through your phone. So I'm going to show you my clean sound, which I kind of like hear a little bit. So basically, is a totally clean sound with just a touch of reverb. So this is the control switch that I was talking about. When I activate this, the booster will come on as well as the delay, so making this a sound that I can use for fills or for solos. Right? I'm gonna. The second channel or second patch is actually a distortion patch, where I have this as a patch for distortion. Just a touch of reverb. When I hit the switch, I can actually use this whole patch as a solo. The third patch, of course, is the full-blown solo patch that I was talking about. You know, this is the, if I'm not mistaken, this is a Sedano amp, the solo patch, that the solo amp that is in the unit. And when I hit this control switch, I'll take out all the delays and all the reverb, so it's just a dry sound. So sometimes you want a totally clean solo sound, or rather a really high gain solo sound without the delays and reverb. So I had it programmed into this patch, so it works for me. The thing about this, some of this amp simulation, I gotta be frank, not all the amps are happening, you know. Most of the amps are, and some of the amps are really good. For example, this amp I'm using, or the simulation of the JCM 800, they're pretty close. And you know, there are little nuances where you can actually feel that the amp is responding to your playing. Even the cleaner sound, for example, this patch, the first patch I was using. It's very responsive, you know. It's like, you know, it responds to my guitar, to my playing, and it responds really well. So I enjoy myself playing around with this unit. You know, it took me a while to navigate through this unit system, and it's not a hard thing to do. You know, you can easily manage to do all that by your own self. You know. The fact of the matter is that, you know, with all the outputs at the back, you know, there's so much configuration that is available to you. I would use this unit for live work. As you all know, I've been playing around with multi-effects for the longest time, and I don't use amps on stage. So this is right up my alley. And I could just carry this to a gig and just plug in directly to a floor monitor, or directly to the FOH, or, you know, and I'm in business and I'm ready to rock. The unit is also catered to non-guitarists, you know, or non-electric guitarists. You know, it's also catered for acoustics, as well as electric piano, or, you know, other instruments. They have settings and patches for acoustic guitar too. And I might just want to try one of my acoustic guitar and plug it into here and see how it sounds like. And this unit supports impulse responses, IRs, and that's good news for us, because, you know, you can have the choice of a whole lot of cabinets for electric guitarists, as well as acoustic guitar simulations for acoustic guitarists. So that's something that I would want to look into, you know. And the unit comes in with a looper as well as a drum machine. So can you beat that? So it's a great tool. This is a great tool for guys who want to stay at home and practice their chops, and for novice guitarists who are just trying to learn something and how to play with a band. It's a great tool to have. As you can hear from the backing track, you know, from the music, this is a backing track I used before, and I chose this backing track because of the spaces in between, so that I can actually feature how the unit can cope with rhythm work. For example, the chorus guitars, and, you know, the clean solos and semi-clean solo, as well as the full-blown solo. You know, how the unit can perform in a song like that. And I think the unit performs really well. So if the unit performs well in the song, then I guess it will perform well in the recording. And if it performs well in the recording session, it will perform well in a live situation. Other than that, you know, unit is really well made, well thought of. I think maybe they're trying to cram in too much things into this unit. You know, sometimes less is more, but, you know, I guess they want to cater to a whole genre of of people out there, you know, and that's what I think they're trying to do. Which I give kudos to them. You know, they really thought this out properly. The amp simulations, you know, the effects and everything, they all are workable. They are great simulations. Some of them, you know, but most of them are really not bad, you know, and especially the Marshall amps and some of the pedals that they have in there, the chorus and stuff like that, you know, the delays and the reverb. I only hope that they could have more parameters in it, you know, and and more delay models or reverb models. Like, you know, for example, the plate reverb, they don't have pre-delay in it, which is pretty strange because most plate reverbs that I use for any multi-effects or even my door, the plugins, they would have pre-delays in it. So it doesn't have pre-delays in it. So yeah, so these are little things that I think they will work through the firmware updates, you know, in a later date. Apart from that, you know, the rest of the simulations are fine. You know, they are manageable, they are working great, you know, they're usable. So what do I think about this unit? Well, at $399 a pop, I think it's a worthwhile unit to get. Either you're a touring musician, a professional musician, or a novice, you know, a newbie, or someone who just started out playing electric guitar and just need a tool. This is a great piece of gear to have, you know, with the drum machine and the looper. You know, it makes a great tool for those of you who are starting out, even for professional musicians like me. You know, it's a great tool to make music. All right, to make music, and not just to copy a Stairway to Heaven lick or anything like that. It's a great tool to make music with the loopers and the drum machine. You can create your own riff. You know, that's the only way to go. For the gigging musician, I think this gear is really convenient, you know, for us, because I could just put it in my gig bag and I'm ready to go. Or no need to carry an auxiliary or pedal or anything like that. You know, units are sufficient by itself. I'm pretty surprised at this unit because this unit is engineered and manufactured in China. And you all know that, you know, in years past, you know, China has a bad reputation of coming up with units that are subpar and, you know, that don't last long. But through the years, I have noticed that their products are actually getting better. And there are many things that I bought from online, you know, everyday utility stuff, like, you know, or even gears that I own. You know, most of them are made in China. You know, Apple phones are made in China. So, you know, they're actually getting better at what they're doing. So now, I'm not a mainland Chinese, I'm a Singaporean Chinese. So there's no political agenda here. You know, I'm just glad that they come of age. You know. So I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of this unit by itself, because there are so many videos about this, you know, and I'll put a link to this guy, you know, who does a magnificent video of explaining how the patches work and all that. So I'll put a link to his video and you can check him out. So I want to thank my brother Nankwa for hooking me up with the guys in Hotone, and I want to thank the guys in Hotone, you know, especially Mr. Liu and Ari, for sending me this unit to try. So I hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, give me a thumbs up, and if you want to join this channel, feel free to go ahead, and I'll see you on the next video. So in the meantime, arrivederci, ciao.